Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another video by the Sentimental Pakistani. My name is Rafi and I'm your host. When I recorded yesterday's video, मैं काफ़ी ज़्यादा skeptical था. मुझे डर था कि भाई मैं वीडियो फालतू बनाऊंगा, कोई देखेगा नहीं और मैं खुद भी जाकर नाराज़ हो जाऊंगा. मैंने जाके Facebook community से शेयर किया था. I shared it on Balsamico fragrance community, I shared it on Divine in Paris fragrances, and I shared it on Center Bond fragrances. There was an overwhelming positive response. Many people messaged me. Mohammed Bukhari bhai messaged me saying that I had a good review, so अच्छा लगा था. Thank you very much, sir. And just a lot of love and a lot of support shown. So this channel will be here to stay. I will be reviewing fragrances for as long as I can. Now for today's fragrances, I wanted to pick out something that I really love and I really enjoy. Something that's perfect for the current weather. Something that is mass pleasing, mass appealing, that is inoffensive, that's a strong performer, that just smells sexy. That's what this smells. It smells sexy. This is Emerald Floresta by Balsamico fragrances. It's an interpretation of Mousse Illuminee by Rope Perfumery. I discovered Mousse around a month or two before this released through a sample that was gifted to me by my mom. It was a bunch of samples from Rope Perfumery and Mousse stuck out the most. My nose was delved into this. I used that sample bottle very preciously, just like, applying a little here and there, and it just blew off of me. It was exploding. I was like, what is going on? This fragrance reminds me of a thick, dense woodland forest with big tall trees with lots of leaves after the rain has fallen. And once the rain's fallen and the ground is damp and it's soaked, it's emanating this beautiful aroma of woodiness, of muskiness, of oak moss, and sheer elegance. This perfume is definitely reminiscent of old gentleman fragrances, and it's a beautiful interpretation of it. It's my favorite interpretation of it. Many people argue that Chanel's Egoist Platinum is better than this in some ways in terms of being a fougere. I disagree 100%. Nothing comes close. Before this, my favorite fougere was Gentle Fruity Silver by Maison Francis Kurkdjian. This blew it out of the water. This fragrance opens up extremely bright. Bright, effervescent, ethereal almost. The jasmine sambac absolute, a natural ingredient in this perfume, is just, it's beautiful. It's done very well. This fragrance is extremely refined because it's quite linear. You don't have multiple phases. You have the same consistent beauty throughout the life of the fragrance, but there are some differences. In the opening, it's a lot more the jasmine. The woodiness and the oak moss is there. Oak moss is more present, but it's taken a back seat. The woodiness is down below. When you get to the heart, there's a lot more cypress. I know cypress is this fresh, crisp ingredient that reminds me of juniper berries. I do think there's juniper berries in here as well, which give it that cool, crispy, icy feel. And then the oak moss obviously is there. Oak moss is essential for a good gentleman's fragrance. In the base, lots of white musk, and there's this rich earthiness that comes from patchouli. However, again, it is not the dry, earthy, kind of toasty patchouli we're used to. It's more wet, it's more damp, it's softened by the oak moss, and it makes this a beautiful execution. If we're going to talk about performance, I get all day long performance with this, no matter how many sprays I've done. There was a time when I was in college and I wore this to school, of course, and I had 2 or 3 sprays around my neck, maybe one at the back as well. I walk into my classroom, my teacher follows suit 2 or 3 minutes later, and he says, "What's that smell?" He says, "That's you, and I could smell you from the corridor." The classroom and the corridor are around 20 to 25 feet away. So projection, amazing. Longevity, amazing. The scent trail is phenomenal. Any room you walk into, this walks in before you and speaks for itself. You need to learn to own this fragrance or else it will own you. It's extremely powerful. People love this. It is one of my most complimented fragrances. I don't really normally get compliments on my fragrances. I wear them for myself mostly. I wear them at home even if I'm not going anywhere. But every time I have worn this, even the people in my house are like, you smell amazing. So it's crazy because this is also an eau de toilette. 10 to 15% eau de toilette. Second strongest fragrance I have. First one, of course, is Diwan by The Spirit of Dubai. It's an extrait de parfum. So this having 3 times as less oil but nearly the same amount of performance blows my mind. It's a beautiful fragrance. It is oak moss, jasmine, woods done to perfection. Nothing speaks sheer class and elegance more than Emerald Floresta by Balsamico, a beautiful interpretation of Mousse Illuminee. The price for this is 3,500 rupees for 40 ml. I believe they're currently out of stock. And I know there's another interpretation done by Divine in Paris, which is Hamad Ansari bhai. Assalamu alaikum, if you see this. To be frank and very honest, that one has a better price point. It's 2,500 rupees for 50 ml. But to my nose, it's not the same. I think it's just a matter of maceration. That fragrance needs to sit for longer, it needs to age for longer, and then possibly it'll be as good as this. But nonetheless, this is top tier. This is a 10 out of 10. Nothing beats this in the family of Fougères. It is highly underrated. People should be paying 10 times more attention to this than they do. I know people in the current Made by Pakistan community do, but the international communities, the original communities, the original perfume communities, they don't pay attention to this as much as they should. This is beautiful. One of the best fragrances ever made, in my opinion. I've emptied half the bottle. I have 30 to 40 fragrances. I do not empty half the bottle, even if it's 40 ml. Phenomenal. Thank you very much for watching this video. There was a lot of support from the communities. There was a lot of positive feedback and comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. I was a bit disappointed because the main community I wanted to post this to, Pakistan Fragrance Community Made by Pakistan, they had a bit of a problem with uploading YouTube videos or content like that, which I respect. But if any of you are aware of any other big communities that I can share these videos to, that would be interested in this type of content, do let me know. Do also let me know what type of fragrances you like to see me review, what type of videos you like to see me talk about. I did say we could do discussion-based videos. I would love to do that. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. Inshallah, हम सब एक साथ जो है ना पूरी जर्नी पे जाएंगे, बड़ा मजा आएगा. अस्सलाम वालेकुम, खुदा हाफिज़.